Good morning. I thought that I would chat a little bit while I make some coffee. It is about 6:30 in the morning, day 3 of my second trip. And I just wanted to chat a little bit because I feel like I haven't talked very much on this trip. I was pretty busy. So on day 1, I went up to my dad's and I just spent some time with him before I went and camped on his land. And I was awoken by the construction crew who are about to lay down the foundation for their house that they're putting on there. So I had to skedaddle, and I went back over to my dad's, and I decided that the most important thing to work on while I had his help was fixing my sink. So I fixed the tailpipe drain. I replaced it with a more flexible pipe so that I can have more space under the sink. And then we fixed the leak, which ended up being that it was leaking through the thread that the pipe was connected to, that like pumped the water up from. So we had to reseal the thread and put some new clamps on it. And then in doing so, we accidentally messed up the other side of the hose that connects to the actual water pump. So when we turned it on, it's like spraying water out. So we had to fix that as well, and he showed me how to do all of that. We had to like prime the pipe, cut off the part that was damaged, and like put new clips on, and yeah, he taught me some new tools and stuff too, and gave me a couple. So I have some more. So I know how to fix it if it gets loose again. Alright, so that was day 1, and then after we fixed the sink, I headed out to Sedona. I decided to try to find my own campground and not go to the ones that I had planned to go to because they're like designated camping spots. And I just ended up getting sidetracked, and it took a lot longer to get out here than it should have. And then I kind of I set up and I was relaxing for the night, about to make dinner, and this guy came up and was like, "Hey, you might want to leave. A whole bunch of people are coming." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave, I guess." And I just drove up the road a little bit and found a little bit better spot that's still in a designated camping area. There's some people around. There's a few other cars and tents, but everyone's kept to themselves. They've been great. I haven't really had any issues or anything. It's actually kind of nice being close by people. It feels a little bit more secure, I guess, even though no one owes me anything. Like, if I was screaming and needed help, like, people would hear me. So that was that, and then I just made dinner and I went to sleep, and then the next day I woke up with a migraine, and I hadn't gotten good sleep the 2 nights before, so I slept pretty much all day and read my book. And I was going to film a little bit before bed and like kind of talk about some of the storage and stuff that I've been starting to optimize in here, but I was not feeling it. I was over it. My dog snuck out of the van while I was taking a nap. I have been working on getting her refreshed in her training. So she is trained. I've decided that I can't use the line at all when I'm outside because it just stresses her out. It just stresses me out. She just tangles herself constantly and doesn't relax. So no line. So what I'm doing now is if I have things to work on outside, I tell her to stay in here so she can keep an eye on me, but she'll stay in here. And if I'm doing anything, I need to have a full bag of like smelly treats that actually smell like the soft ones. I got some from Trader Joe's that seem to be doing the trick. And I just have to constantly redirect her and get her to come back over. And give her treats, but that's been working better than my other options in the past, and she actually listens when I do that. So those are my two options, and I jinxed myself too, because last night I laid out and watched the stars for a bit, and she just laid on the mat I set out for her, was being a total good girl, you know. I feel like dogs are like kids. They only behave when you least expect them to. But it was so beautiful to get to watch the stars, and if I had a better camera I would have filmed some of that, but yeah, it was great. But yeah, she snuck out while I was napping, so when I took my second nap of the day, because my neighbor woke me up and was like, hey, your dog's running around, and I was like, great. I had to booby trap it a little bit in here so she wouldn't leave, because she did try. When I fell asleep again, she did try to sneak out again. This trip I think went a lot smoother than my last trip. First and foremost, there was no rain or mud, which was fantastic. I didn't track mud in everywhere. There were thousands of mosquitoes. Second, oh my goodness, my brain is spacey. Oh yeah, I have been working on the organization in here, so I'm not constantly moving everything around. Things are kind of starting to find their place, and it's just becoming a little bit more efficient, optimized to live in here. I also don't feel so stressed out camping and being alone. Like, I'm a lot less anxious, and I think anything you do for the first time is going to be scary. Like, I'm glad I just went on a small trip my first time in the van, because yeah, I was stressed and anxious, but I felt like way more relaxed. Like, it was good. Yeah, anything you do for the first time is going to be scary. Even maybe the first few times it's going to be scary, but I'm a firm believer that on the other side of fear is everything you've ever wanted. So yeah, it was really good. I really did relax yesterday and read, and I went for a couple little walks and just rested and got the rest that I need. Today I am going to be going for a hike before I leave. That's why I'm up so early. It was hot yesterday, and I was just kind of cooking in this van without AC in the back, just a fan. It was only like 85, but when there's no shade and the sun's just beating down, it was a hot day. So I'm trying to go before it gets too hot, if I can get going and stop talking. I am going to Fay Canyon because I haven't hiked there yet, and it seems like it's close by, and yeah. So I don't know how much I'm going to get to film because the charger that I brought with me, it broke. It snapped in the USB port in the back and a little piece got stuck in it. So I can't charge my phone with my portable battery while I'm filming, and filming does absolutely kill the battery, as I'm sure you can understand. But I'm at the Fay Canyon trailhead. I wanted to talk a little bit more about where I was camping before I forget. So I was off Forest Service Road 525 in Sedona. There are only 3 spots for dispersed camping that are permitted. There are no fires permitted. I was at the Greasy Spoon. There are no facilities, no water, no toilet, pack in, pack out. I took Forest Service 525 road to get there, which I would say is a longer dirt road, but it isn't as bumpy. And then I took Buoyant Pass to get over here to Fay Canyon because it was closer, but it was much bumpier. I went slow, probably about 5 to 10 miles per hour the whole time, and was all right. But if you are uncomfortable doing that, just keep that in mind. My tires are also brand new, and I filled them up before I left. So keep that in mind. It was still a little rocky, but there are a lot of off-road vehicles that go out there. There's some off-road trails, and they also do the pink Jeep tours out there. So that saw a bunch of those pass by. So I kind of got to go on a free little pink Jeep Red Rock tour by myself. But I'm gonna get going. I just finished hiking Fake Canyon. I will briefly rate the trail. So I would say it was pretty easy. For most part, it was really soft sediment on the ground. There were some spots where it was a bit rocky, where you could tell an old creek used to be. But for the most part, it was pretty easy. There wasn't really any huge elevation gain or descending. It was only 2.1 miles out and back. There were a lot of families, older people. It was pretty friendly. It was really nice hike after a camping trip, because I'm tired and didn't really want to be out there all day long. I wasn't really able to film any cinematic like hiking shots because there were so many people, and you're kind of just like in a little valley with trees all around, which is actually pretty nice because a lot of trails around here aren't shaded at all. In this little spot there were like plenty of trees for shade. Sedona's pretty much like a temperate desert, so there's some spots where it's more like shrubs and cactuses, and then there's a few spots where there's like trees, like where I was just at. I don't think I would have been able to get any shots of me walking with the landscape behind me anyways, unless I did it from the parking lot here. The trailhead is across the street from the parking lot, just so you know if you ever want to come out here. It was Fake Canyon. There is a little natural arch about halfway, so about half mile in. You can't really see it coming up, but you can see it pretty well coming back down, back to the trailhead, and it's on the left side. It's just a small little like arch with some boulders. Not anything you can like walk to or anything, but it was really pretty. It was beautiful. It was a nice day. I am hungry and tired, so I am going to go get some food and probably